Hey there folks, welcome back, and as it seems again, it's another race, another debatable penalty in Formula 1, or even a couple of debatable penalties. French Grand Prix today, and Paul Ricard saw Sergio Perez get a penalty for a first lap leaving the track and gaining an advantage, as well as something similar with Daniel Ricciardo on the last lap. So you can say start and end job. You can't say start to end because really it was an uneventful race. I was very tempted to say that everyone was going to finish, and then about 5 laps from the end, Haas retired Grosjean's car. But it wasn't exactly the most fun to watch. To be honest, most of F1 for the past few seasons hasn't been. The turbo hybrid era has been mostly dominated by Mercedes, which can be proven by the fact that this weekend they managed to get their 63rd front row lockout, beating the record set by, I believe it was McLaren, Ferrari, was it Williams as well? But it's very evident, given the fact that most of these have, well, pretty much all of these have happened in the turbo hybrid era, so since 2014, that Mercedes have been dominant throughout. I mean, it's not hard to debate, really. But you did see some nice bits. So the first time that McLaren had both their cars in the top 6 since, I believe, Monza 2014. So they're getting to, people will call it their pre-Honda levels, I call it their pre-Alonso levels. Because, let's be honest, it was largely due to what Alonso wanted, not due to what Honda were doing, that they had these dramas over the early parts of Honda's time with them. And over really the whole time that they spent with Honda in this brief partnership. But it was nice to see Sainz and Lando up there. They got a good start as well. Shame to see Lando dropping off towards the end of the race, though. Of course, that was largely to do with an ongoing electrical issue, I believe, that affected the hydraulics and the power steering. But Sainz ended up bringing the car home to be, well, best of the rest in 6th, because Pierre Gasly, well, finished 11th but got bumped up to 10th following Ricciardo's penalty. And whilst it was essentially Mercedes dominant start to finish and it looked like Hamilton was going to get another Grand Slam, Sebastian Vettel managed to deny him on the last lap with what they were calling Plan F, which was Plan Fastest Lap. So put Vettel in, put him on the soft tyres, which I believe, was it the C4s or C5s? I could never remember. Might even be the other end of the scale. They put him on the softest tyre available and just told him to gut it. And on the last lap of the race, he managed to set a new lap record that denied Hamilton the Grand Slam. But let's talk about Ricciardo's penalty. I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of people are going to be here to discuss. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to put for the thumbnail and the title. Daniel Ricciardo got 2 penalties for 2 moves he pulled on the final lap down the back straight. The first was in the chicane area, the way he passed Lando Norris, which was him going wide in the first part of the chicane and causing Lando to go off the track in the second part of the chicane. Which, fair enough, it is a justifiable penalty because he didn't use just the confines of the track. He had to go over the confines of the track to be able to get the place, hence leaving the track and gaining an advantage. And he didn't give Lando a space whilst actually in the chicane. So, penalty justified there. And the second penalty was for re-overtaking Kimi towards the end of the straight, which again is completely justifiable because he went off the track to overtake Kimi. Now, Ricciardo says he has no regrets about doing this, but Honestly, you can't fault him for that. But unlike, I believe, with Vettel's one, where it was more kind of murky ground, and Perez's one, because I believe he overtook Grosjean, you're given the penalty. There's not really much more those drivers could have done in that situation, apart from going slower, which in the heat of the moment you're not going to do. I think Ricciardo's one is much more kind of clear-cut. It's much more what we have come to see in F1. It's more kind of consistent with where you'd see penalties coming in before, and it's just a shame that it dropped him from 7th down to 11th, meaning that he didn't get any points. But I can see why people are a bit annoyed. But I will repeat what I said at the end of the Canadian Grand Prix, and you can find the link for that below. And I am standing by this opinion. The penalty was given, the results were published. There should be no grounds for trying to overturn it. The fact that Ferrari decided to appeal the verdict on Vettel by using Karun Chandhok's analysis was a bit funny. And not in the kind of peculiar strange way, but that is the case. But it was also a little bit hilarious to see, oh yes, somebody on a TV channel said this. Of course, Karun Chandhok, I'm over-exaggerating, is like a presenter for Sky Sports F1, a pundit, and well known within kind of like his work for Williams Heritage, as well as being, I believe, a presenter on Fifth Gear now. But it was a bit funny to see that come up and go, this is evidence. It's an opinion. But, like I said, they shouldn't overturn the verdict. There are no grounds in which it should have been overturned, because at that point it starts to damage the sport even more. Because it says that if you pressure the sport enough, if you pressure the FIA enough, if you start to get a bit kind of handsy, and in Vettel's case, especially because they're Ferrari, you can get away with whatever you want. But either way, it was all right. C'est ennuyeux. And let's hope for a repeat of Austria last year with a double DNF Mercedes. Okay, those are my opinions. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.